Hi, it's Alaska Granny. Let's talk about why it's a great idea to have a food stockpile, to keep building up your amount of food storage, your prepper pantry, and the food that you have on hand to use not only today, but in the future. You want to think about food as a commodity that never loses its value. Having a food pantry, it's food insurance, it's lifestyle insurance. You have value in the foods that you already bought, that you will have meals and food to feed your family and provide for yourself going forward. The price of food is never going down, and so the value is still there, that you paid less for the food today than it will be in the future, and you still have that commodity. That food is still there, and you're able to eat it, use it, and then hopefully be able to replace it. We can live off the food that we've stockpiled, and then even when prices go up, you may be in for a shock of what the new price will be, but you still have the comfort knowing that you already have some put aside that you can continue to feed your family at yesterday's prices, and then be able to continue to source food in the future. We continue to see shortages of different types of food. We never know what it's going to be when we go to the store and we can't find an item that we want. And so if you figure out what are the foods that you eat on a regular basis, and you have extras of those at home, even if you go to the store and there's a food on your list that you can't get, maybe you'll be able to substitute something, or think what's in your pantry at home that you can use in place of the food that you can't get. And then when you do see an item that you use a lot and it's at a good price, you can buy several of them so that you have that, and you have that food security, that insurance, that commodity that's always going to have a better value going forward. What are some simple meals that we can make that are quick and easy from just grocery store foods that we can put in our food storage stockpile and build a prepper pantry? A Knorr pasta sides creamy chicken. Add a simple can of chicken and a side of your favorite vegetables like green beans. A can of beef stew over the Idahoan mashed potatoes. You could even stir in some extra mixed vegetable medleys if you want it to be a bigger meal. How about a can of sweet Sioux chicken and dumplings served over egg noodles? Add a can of mixed vegetables to make it a bigger, better meal. Stir together some canned salmon or tuna with mayonnaise. Serve it with crackers. How about a Zatarain's jambalaya with a shelf-stable summer sausage? You could also use one of the Knorr packages of red beans and rice. How about a can of tomato soup? Drop in some potato gnocchi and sprinkle it with Parmesan cheese. If you had a handful of fresh spinach, you could stir that in. That would be really delicious too. Think of all the different ways you can use spaghetti or any kind of pasta noodles. There are all types of jars and cans of sauces. There's different kinds of Alfredos, there's marinara, there's meat sauces. There's a huge variety of sauces. You can get creative with your spaghetti noodles or your pasta as well. Stir together some Hormel chili with no beans and some Tostitos salsa con queso, and you'll have a different kind of a spicy sauce that is very delicious. When you use a jar of food, wash the jar very well, and then you can use it to store some of your new food, your dry, long-lasting food, like barley, pastas, lentils, split peas, rice, beans, oatmeal, tea bags. There's all types of foods that you can store into a jar that are already dry, and storing them in an airtight container helps them to last longer. Not only are these foods versatile on their own and long-lasting, but you can then say, make a pot of rice, make a pot of pasta, serve some of your canned foods with it. Turn some of these foods into soups and stews with some of your beans, rice, or pasta noodles. You can make all kinds of different meals if you use your imagination. But remember, the longest lasting foods are single dry ingredients. They need to be sealed in an airtight container, and then they can store away for decades. Does that mean you should just put them away forever? No, you should be storing food that you're willing to eat. then you should be using some of this food, rotating and replacing these foods as you go. None of them are very expensive. You can do it $1 at a time, a package at a time, 1 or 2 cans at a time, and pretty soon you're going to have quite a lot of food in your emergency stockpile. Store as much water as you can, whether you're bringing it home 1 gallon at a time, or you're refilling containers yourself, or you choose to buy 3, 5, 6, or 7 gallon container. The more water you store, the better off you're going to be if the water should stop running or becomes contaminated. It's also important that you have some kind of water filter, and that's when you need to start deciding on that you're going to need to spend a little more money and do some research to see what kind of water filter are you comfortable using is going to meet the needs of your family and your situation. Then once you have a nice supply of foods in your pantry that are open and eat or just require a little bit of cooking, think about getting the longest lasting foods. Then don't forget the longest lasting foods that you can buy in number 10 cans. They're already preserved to last the longest. So if you have problems with, say, tomato products don't last that long, you can get something like the Augustin Farms tomato powder. You can get whole eggs. You can buy all kinds of fruits and vegetables. And a great source to buy long-lasting foods is from the Mormon Church, the LDS Church. They are pros at long-lasting food storage. You can buy all types of different beans, rice, pasta, fruit, onion, carrots. The variety of foods can vary from time to time depending on what they're able to source and have, but you can go online. Anyone can order from the Mormon Church. You don't have to be a member. You just need to go onto the site. I'll put a link in the description below, and then you can order. Realize that when you're ordering the food from the Mormon Church, that you're getting a box of 6 of those cans of food, these number 10 cans. When you buy something like I buy things at Walmart or on Amazon from, say, Augustin Farms, that's the price for 1 can. But when you're ordering from the Mormon Church, you're getting a box with 6. And so you're getting a lot of food for not a lot of money. And it's food that can last the very longest, 30 years, and probably longer, some of them, as long as you remember, as always, to store your food in a cool, dark, dry environment. The better you store your food, the better it's going to last. So I also like to think about sometimes foods fail, sometimes things get broken, or we decide we don't like something anymore. And so I try to have, say, 10% more than I think that I need, so that I have a buffer, so that in a real emergency, I'm not going to come up with the cupboard is bare and there's nothing anymore to eat until, say, the next payday. So think about adding a little extra beyond that. Just like when you go on vacation, take some of the clothes out of your suitcase and put some more money into your wallet, because that cash and the money might be more valuable than an extra clean outfit. So having extra food could be critical as you live your day-to-day life. Leave it in the comments below. What are some foods that you are stockpiling? How are you using some of those foods, so that we remember to use, rotate, and replace, so that we continue to have a nice supply of foods. I hope you'll like my video. Share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.